What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Baldmanreacts. Today we're checking out the band Westfield Massacre and the track Famine. They just released their new video, and because of the amount of perseverance and the amount of guts that this band has shown the past couple of years, I wanted to feature them here on the channel. Originally, Westfield Massacre was formed in 2014 with Tommy Vexed from Snot, Divine Heresy, and now Bad Wolves on vocals, and Tim Young of Morbid Angel and Divine Heresy, and several others on drums, with the addition of Bill Hudson on guitar, and a couple others who I do not remember. They wrote the record, the initial record, and then the current members, the drummer, bass player, and guitar player, were brought in. They had a successful release for their first record, crowdfunded the second, and were recording it and getting ready to release it last year, and had some touring commitments lined up when Tommy Vexed pulled a Tommy Vexed and left the band for greener pastures in the form of Bad Wolves, who had already secured a record deal and were ready to go. Unfortunately, that left the guys in Westfield Massacre in a bind. In a legal bind, because they had touring commitments lined up they were obligated to do. They had a record they were supposed to release. Some bad blood certainly circulated around a little bit if you paid attention to the news last year. It was a little bit of mudslinging going on. And instead of folding, the band made the best of a bad situation. They went and picked up Sheldon Tarsha, otherwise known as Sean Nichols, to sing for the band. He had just left Quiet Riot and also been singing for Alter's Appetite. And I was certainly a little skeptical of how that kind of singer was going to fit in a band like Divine Heresy that does the metalcore thing. So, I heard some live stuff and I was actually really impressed. I liked some of the smokiness to his voice. Haven't heard the track, thought about just listening to it on my own, and I figured, you know what? Somebody might like it, so I'll put it up on the channel. And the perseverance of the members of the band certainly deserve to be noticed. They made the best of a bad situation. They re-recorded the record. It's getting ready to come out, and I'm really curious to hear the track Famine. So after all that brief history, let's go ahead and get into the music, shall we? The band is Westfield Massacre. The track is Famine. Here we go. I like those tones to start things out. That heavy guitar tone teasing right there below the surface. Bit of synth work going on. Definitely that familiar tremolo riffing and blast beat you'd expect from metalcore and melodic death metal. Really thick, full guitar chugs going on. A little bit of that industrial element. I like the vocal layering and the interplay. There's certainly a bit of processing going on, but it sounds good. Chorus is definitely big, catchy, and sing-song. Sounds like there's a little bit of pitch correction going on though. Other than that, I like the chorus. Definitely has that Divine Heresy-like feel. I like the layering of the vocals and the shift from the aggressives to the semi-aggressives. A big fan of that shift from the heavy verses to the big, sugary, sweet, melodic hooks. You might like this. It's certainly not making toast a different way. It's still toast, but it's well prepared toast. like that break. really enjoy the riffs. The vocal pattern works really well, and I like that semi-aggressive into more of that high-pitched scream that he's employing. The accept's really good here. Big, rich lead tones, dual lead work going on. Would have liked a bit more of a solo, though, to be honest. You're gonna break into a cool solo section like that, make it work, rip a little bit. Like that little guitar accent. Alright, that was Westfield Massacre. The track was Famine. And, well, it's toast. But it's good toast. There's certainly no denying that it's following a blueprint. It's following that modern metal blueprint. It's following it pretty well. They're not doing a style that you haven't heard before. If you've been listening to metal for the past few years, you've been listening to metalcore for the past few years, you've heard what they're doing. There's no question about it. Heck, if you were a fan of Divine Heresy, like I was, and I am, then you've heard this before. It certainly has some of that Fear Factory blueprint that Dino brought over to Divine Heresy. The vocals are processed. No question there. The whole production is very slick. It's very clean. I'm not going to say it's sterile, but it is very clean and it's very crisp, as you expect from a lot of these newer bands producing records this way and having records mixed this way. I honestly would have liked a little bit less really obvious vocal polish on the cleans. You know, let those little imperfections shine through and don't put some somewhat obvious pitch correction there. I like the riffs a lot. I like that semi-aggressive range that Sean is employing through those kind of spoken word almost like passages. And, you know, I've heard the dude live situations. He's got a really good, clean register. Wish they would have let that shine a little bit more. Overall, I think it's a solid track. I like the riffs. Would have liked to hear that bass just a touch more. The drums were well mixed. They sounded cohesive as a kit. And honestly, I'm just happy to see these guys persevere and make the best of the situation they were dealt last year. And I'm glad they've decided to meet their commitments and continue to press forward, and that they've kept Sean around. So I hope to see them continue with the amount of work that they've put in, especially considering the band itself was not the band that founded the band. You know, these guys have busted their butts, and they deserve to be rewarded for doing it when they got left in such a precarious position. And I think it certainly will appeal to people. I think people will like that candy bar, that crunchy verse, that sugary, sweet nougat in the chorus, and some of those heavier points. I really do wish they would have expanded that solo a little bit. If you're going to go into a cool solo section like that, solo. Don't just do a little harmony and give it a couple of bars because you want it to be accessible. If you're going to build a solo section into a track, and you've got talented guitar players, then solo on it. Thus, the bald man has spoken. Purely my opinion, but I guess that's what happens when you cut your teeth on 80 shred. Anyway, I enjoyed the track. I think looking past the aspects that are certainly formulaic, it's enjoyable. And not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but wish the guys the best. I certainly do. I will be curious to hear the record. I hope it does well for him. So, thank you, gentlemen, for the perseverance and truly delivering for your fans that have supported you. That is awesome, and it's an incredibly wonderful trait to have as human beings. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for all of your support. I love you. Thank you to my law enforcement, military veterans, and first responders for what you do every day. As always, you have been awesome. I have been Baldman. See you in that next one. Be excellent to each other. Keep headbanging.